President Trump vows to sign an executive order that could change elections as we know it, something that's triggering a lot of his critics. Also, elected officials have been caught cheating in an election by using a glitch in the system. Trust me, this is footage that you have to wait and see. We've got a lot on our plate today, but real quick, if you want to stay informed with Social Security, US politics, and world news that affects us, then make sure to subscribe to the Civic Trigger.
Mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt. And you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses them because of what's happened, massive fraud all over the place. The other thing we want change are the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections. We'd get much faster results. The machines, I mean, they say we're going to have the results in 2 weeks. With paper ballots, you have the results that night. Most people, but most people, many countries use paper ballots. It's the most secure form. So between paper ballots, very, very important, paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud.
Let's set aside parties for a second here. If you were to vote right now, do you feel as if mail-in ballots would be your safest bet? Now you're going to find out that there's a correct answer to this, but first, let's listen to what some Democrats are saying about what the president said.
But mail ballots do not help one party over another. That's what all the data shows. It just helps voters vote in a secure and accessible way. And to put it in perspective, we do have vote by mail. We send it to every active voter, but we have weeks of early voting, same-day voter registration, a lot of in-person voting options. And in 2024, 92% of Republican voters chose to use their mail ballots. This isn't about security. This is about, again, a weak president grasping at straws, trying to hold on to power. He has escalated his attacks on our elections from weaponizing the DOJ to trying to keep MAGA control of Congress through corrupt redistricting.
Focus on two terms here, safe and accessible. Now, I can agree that the accessibility part is factual, but if we're talking about safety, then I have to disagree because these boxes present such a huge opportunity for election fraud, which makes it so simple for anyone to suddenly gain an absurd amount of votes overnight.
It's the evening of August 1st, 3 days before Hamtramck's primary election, and a car is seen pulling up to the Hamtramck ballot box, depositing 3 large stacks of ballots. In the passenger seat is who appears to be City Councilman Abu Musa, who is currently up for re-election.
Now I get that some might say that you're allowed to bring absentee ballots to these boxes, but we have to understand there are limits to this rule, a rule that's obviously being taken advantage of by some officials.
Are you able to return more than one ballot, I guess is the question. And if so, whose are you able to actually return?
So you can, but there's a big caveat as to whose ballot you can return.
Brown says there's no number limit as to how many absentee ballots one person can bring to the ballot box, but those ballots must belong to someone in your home or another close relative.
An immediate family member, or if you cohabitate with somebody. It doesn't have to be in a romantic way, right? But that you cohabitate with someone, you can return their absentee ballots for them.
You might think that he has a lot of relatives who just can't seem to get to these ballot boxes, but it looks as if he's got so many relatives that one trip was not enough. Watch as another video shows Councilman Abu Musa stuffing these ballot boxes to the point where they have to force these votes in.
The video starts with a black pickup truck pulling up outside the Hamtramck City Hall in the middle of the night. All of a sudden, the lights turn on inside the truck. That's when you spot 3 men inside, including what appears to be sitting council member Abu Musa in the back seat, the same council member who is seeking re-election right now. The driver then starts stuffing absentee ballots into the drop box. The only problem? They don't all fit. So he pushes them in before reaching for 2 more stacks. And again, the whole thing being watched by what appears to be council member Musa in the back there.
Again, let me know if you think that this is the safest way to protect our votes. But just to make things a bit worse here, reports now show that signatures have been forged to tip the elections in this very same place.
We know the two current city council people right here in Hamtramck, they are charged with voter fraud. Let me tell you who they are, first of all. Mohammed Hassan, 57 years old. He's been on the council for a while, fairly well-known person here in Hamtramck, but he's charged with 3 counts of forging signatures on absentee ballots. And then the other one, Matasan Sadman, 26 years old. He's charged with 5 counts, basically phoning up signatures on absentee ballots. Now, the charging documents allege that the fraud happened between July and November, which would be the primary and general election, in 2023. And interestingly, when you take a look at the results of the primary, only the top 3 candidates, they would have won. These 2 came in 4th and 5th. But in the general election, somehow the voters had a big change and they came in 1st and 3rd.
Now, some might say that this is a remote event and that it's fairly recent. Well, let's hear from someone who actually lives in the area to tell us how long this has been going on.
This is a situation that we've seen going on for welcome to Hamtramck, for over a decade.
Yeah.
So, and we've seen charges like this brought before, and this has been part of the conversation in Hamtramck among residents, among voters for, at least for over a decade. So this is something that's not news to us that this would happen.
I understand that the 2020 election would come to mind here, but like I said in the beginning, let's forget about parties for a second. This is about respecting what a majority of Americans want, be it Democrat or Republican. We need to give the people the power to decide, and cheating the voting system in this manner has no place in a democracy. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Before I go, please be sure to subscribe and become part of this amazing community. As always, thank you for your time. Talk to you in the next one.